Hey guys, Quinn here, Tactical and Practical. Hope you're doing well. We're here today to talk a little bit about my rifle scope for my NRL 22. I wanted something that was reasonably high magnification. I talked about the Burris RT 5-25, and then I got another choice, the Vortex PST Gen II 5-25 by 50. The objective on that Burris is a 56 millimeter objective, just like the Strike Eagle is, and the PST Gen II is a 50. Here's kind of the difference. I wondered optically how these things look. For me, it's all about glass quality. There are features present in the Burris and in the Strike Eagle that don't exist in this PST Gen II. For example, the locking turrets are one main difference, as well as how much travel you get for elevation. Part of that may be that the PST Gen II is a little bit older. The Vortex rep even told me that he prefers the Strike Eagle, although it is admittedly of lower optical quality. The features, for example, locking turrets and the more elevation, make the difference to him. This PST Gen II is crystal clear. I'm very happy with the other model I own, the 1:6 LPVO that is on my AR. A couple things you'll notice right off the bat. They're both 30 millimeter tubes. The Vortex does come in about 3 inches longer, and it is about 4 ounces heavier. Doesn't bother me much if it's going to be on my bench rest rifle. On that RT 5-25, you do get the locking turrets. Lift the cap to unlock, dial up, push down to lock. The locking and unlocking feels really good. There's a tiny bit of wiggle here on the turret as you're getting ready to spin it, but the clicks are audible. Feels nice, and it locks back down. Windage same way, although the windage is a little bit more low profile. Open, adjust, lock. Easy as that. I did have my 9-year-old and my wife look through both of these to see if everybody kind of voted the same way. Making sure I didn't have confirmation bias from the fact that I know that I like the Vortex, and hands down everybody said yeah, the Vortex is way better. I've got a couple of screenshots. I'll show you the pictures that go through both scopes, and we'll take a look so you can look at those right now. Okay, it's a little hard to see. It looks to me like the grass is in higher definition. In person, there is a perceptible difference in the optical quality between the two. And then I zoomed in on that cactus portion of the picture so you could see the difference. I don't know if the Burris is a little blurry because that is getting close to the edge. If so, it's a big difference from the Vortex because this one has edge-to-edge clarity, or if it's just indicative of the optical quality in general. The Vortex Strike Eagle is probably much closer to a competitor with this Burris. Same magnification, same objective size, and I think that's the direction that they're kind of going. Has the locking turrets. And it is at a price point that's more similar to this RT25, at least from an MSRP standpoint. Now you can get into these Gen 2s a little cheaper because they are older. For me, I will pass on some of the newer features. More travel, as well as the locking turrets aren't that important to me. I will always trade those features for optical quality, and in this case that means that I'm going to keep this Vortex. If you do want some more of the modern touches or modern features, you may want to opt for either that Burris or take a look at the Strike Eagle. In my case, I always prefer to go with the better quality glass, and then the features, provided there's nothing that's really hinky or wonky, I can live with. You do get this little fiber band here to help you see where you're going back to zero to confirm it. There is no locking turrets on this, but it does have a zero stop. Little harder to turn, zero wiggle, slightly different sound, but still a pretty good audible click. It does have the revolution indicator. It does have parallax marked in yardage as opposed to just the kind of the size band on the Burris, but the yardage thing is only worth so much anyway because all our eyes focus differently. The parallax on both of these is supposed to go down to 25 yards. I did try a near focus with them, and I had it at 17 feet, which is like 5 yards and change. Here's a couple pictures of what that looks like. So as you can see, it appears that the Burris actually has pretty good near focus even under what the advertised parallax is. I would preface that by saying, you know, my phone, when I take that picture, it is trying to focus itself because it's an autofocus mechanism. So there is a chance that that object being in focus was only a product of the phone getting lucky and capturing it properly through the glass. But without me really fiddling with it, those were the two images that came in at 17 feet. If super near focus is important to you, you might want to consider the Burris in that regard. I don't really care about shooting that close, obviously, for what I'm going to be doing, so that didn't really bother me. You do get a sunshade with this, and you do get like the kind of bikini style caps. Burris, no sunshade, no bikini caps, and you don't get, they don't make a sunshade for it, so you've got to figure out an aftermarket solution. You do not get a throw lever with this Vortex. I think you do get one with the Strike Eagle. Vortex, those babies are proud too. That switch view throw lever is 60 bucks. There are aftermarket solutions that are machined or 3D printed for $20. You do get the dovetailed or cattail, whatever they call it, throw lever on the Burris included, which is kind of a nice touch. Again, for me, optical quality trumps. The PST Gen II is the winner in my case. It's always the trade-off, right? Once I have to make some compromises. I don't spend $2,000 on a scope. I don't spend $3,000 on a scope. I am not in the price point category where I have to make zero compromises. I am kind of in that upper mid-tier, lower upper tier category. Loophole VX3 HDs, VX5 HDs, PST Gen IIs, right in that kind of zone. What I try to do is find a $1,000 plus scope and then get it on sale or on clearance between $500 and $800. And for me, that means often I have to be willing to forego some of the whiz-bang latest features and go with the model that is a few years older that is now being discounted but has the optical quality that I'm looking for. That's how I approach it. You approach it in a way that your gear gives you the feature set that you need. But I think in this case, both comparing this PST Gen II and the Burris, and likely comparing the PST Gen II and the Strike Eagle, the question is, are you willing to trade the quality, the optical quality, the clarity for some of those newer features? If you are, if those features are important to you, then by all means, go that route. If you want to make a decision purely on optical quality, I think you have to go with the PST Gen II. Not to say that the Burris is murky or cloudy or not usable. It's a great scope, just not quite as good as this one. My guess is I would have a very similar feeling about the Strike Eagle, given that the glass is advertised to be of a slightly inferior quality to this PST Gen II. Not like they're using bad glass. I know the Burris is made in China. I think the Strike Eagle may be, and the Vortex is made in the Philippines, and that kind of often is an indicator of how lines are placed by any scope manufacturer. It's kind of China, Philippines, US, or China, Philippines, Japan, US. Although often assembled in the US doesn't mean manufactured in the US. Obviously Germans are leaders of the pack when it comes to optical quality. In any case, for me, Vortex PST Gen II 5-25 wins this comparison. I hope this helps you a little bit make a decision about the scope for your needs. Please take a second, hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming by. Everybody stay safe out there shooting and have a lot of fun. We'll see you next time. Bye.